Well, hello. That sounded really creepy. Welcome to Drone Brews. It is another beautiful Wednesday night. I have my brew, caffeinated brew this evening, but nonetheless a brew. We're going to be talking about the DJI Ronin 4D. We're going to be talking about the latest Osmo leaks. I have Sean from Geekspana coming on because he's been, what I would say, right on the pulse of all of that. He's going to tell us all the nitty-gritty details. And hopefully by the time the end of the stream is over, DJI will have left us a slightly little bit of money to survive for the rest of the year. Please, just a moment of silence for our wallets. That sounded like a water bong. Did Bot Grinder enter the chat? No, I'm just joking. So I'm not really sure. Like, I didn't even think tonight's stream was going to happen. I was having so many issues getting into StreamYards. Finally was able to reach out to their support. Somehow the account became locked. So for for 2 hours, I wasn't even sure if we were going to be able to stream. I was sweating bullets, but their support finally got us back in, fixed the issue. So luckily we are streaming. I've got my co-host with me tonight. You know him as Eddie, but I also call him Eddie. Eddie Nunez.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
Hold
Welcome.
on.
You still? Wait. Oh, we're still on the super soft.
Yeah. Let's get the sound.
Let's get it. Oh, how I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that. That's nice. I like the teddy bear. It's a nice touch. It's classy.
Yeah. So you made me your co-host. You stopped drinking alcohol, but now I'm drinking alcohol.
It's not that I've stopped drinking alcohol. I wanted to give my liver a breather for just a moment. You know what? Like I said, it was that damn wedding, man. It did me. And I'm gonna bring it back up. Like November, like I'm gonna do drink every day November. Like, you know how some people don't shave, but I would drink every day in November. Like maybe at like 8 a.m. My wife's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, I'm having a drink at 8 a.m. What the fuck's it to you? No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't have any teeth. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat because, man, we have some new emojis tonight. I have added new emojis. I added one for Bob White. So I added one for Bob White. And let's go ahead and see who we got. We got Brad Henderson, Stafford Fields. We got New England Dronalist, One Vision Aerial, Trucker, Beetle, Bailey, Jason Black. We've got Maddie's Drone World. I see B-Man FPV. He's got some fresh GoPros, probably feeling all fresh.
Yeah.
We got Radbeard FPV, Chad B. How's it going? Swamp Donkey, Lauren Donner, Brad Fogel, Invincible Storm Films, Mr. Anthony Charles into the building. We've got Arco Drone Solutions. Good to see you, Arco. How the hell did Arco get his how's Arco have his thing in green? No, that's weird. Huh. TJ Drones, QC guy. Always good to see him in the chat. And then Johnny Drone Flyer. And if there's anybody I missed, I'm sure we'll get you here in a minute. Eddie, let's talk about this Ronin 4D, because I'm looking, like, I have my monitors rolling this way. It's a vertical monitor off to the left of me. I have the specs loaded up here. There's a lot to go. There's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to really take in. But first, what's your thoughts on that? Having you own several cameras as well, and several very high-end cameras. What's your thoughts on this from DJI?
I mean, when I first was watching the reveal that DJI put out today, the video, I mean, this camera is a beast. I mean, this is definitely not for the amateurs, but for the filmmakers who wants to take, their cinematics very serious, and maybe like indie filmmakers. And I think this camera is like a one-stop shop. I mean, I think that's the one thing that DJI always gets right, is I think this is their first take at a cinema camera, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't really count the original. Like, they had the original OG Osmo, but I don't think that was a cinema camera.
No, I wouldn't call it a cinema camera. I mean, the monitor on this, the ability to have your crew control your camera settings wirelessly, 14 stops of dynamic range, built-in ND. I mean, just the innovation in itself, the Z-axis gimbal already all built in. I don't think there's another camera out there that can do all this stuff.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. It's a full frame it's a 35 millimeter full frame CMOS sensor. It supports, here's some interesting facts about this. It supports DL mount, M mount, which is a Leica mount. And then, of course, it supports E mount lenses. So that's interesting that there's no Canon or Panasonic offerings or Leica L mounts. I mean, that's sort of weird that those aren't there. But there is E mounts, so that should make Sony fans pretty happy. Gamma's D-Log, Rec 709, and HLG. The white balance, so no automatic white balance, or it is automatic, but there isn't a way to set your white balance like you would with a camera where you take a photo. It's a manual white balance, so same as a cinema camera, so manual white balance. The dual native ISOs, get this, the 6K has a dual native ISO of 800 and 5,000. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. And the 8K version will have a dual native ISO of 800 to 4,000, and it has an ISO range of 200 to 12,800. Now, 12,800, you would think, okay, that's a really high ISO range. But you would not believe how many times I butted up against 12,800 as the limit on my Fuji cameras. That was one of the biggest reasons why I got away from Fuji for video, is because it has a limit of 12,800 in video, which is actually pretty limited.
Mm-hmm. It is, especially nowadays.
Yeah. So this camera also is capable of shooting Apple ProRes RAW. Now, here's an interesting thing about RAW. Red currently owns the patent to shoot RAW internal for video. If you want to shoot RAW and you want to shoot it internally, you can't, because Red owns the patent to that. So this camera shoots red, or it shoots RAW. It doesn't shoot red RAW, but it shoots RAW. But it's the way they're doing it is because the storage is external. It records out to a SSD. Mm-hmm. It's not considered internal storage. Isn't that crazy?
DJI is smart, man. They know how
They're smart, man. They outsmarted Red at their own game. It also has a CFast card 2.0, which is pretty popular in most cinema cameras too. So no recording limits either if you're shooting into the 1 terabyte SSD. A lot of stuff. Price wise, for the 6K version, does not ship with an SSD, does not ship with the lens. $7,119. So wow,
A bargain for what you get.
is it though? Is it? Would you like? Let me ask you, like, if you had a choice, like, you're going to spend $7,000 on a camera, like you don't have another camera, you're looking to get into the cinema life. Do you buy this? Is this what you buy if you're doing professional work?
That's a great question. I think the answer would be no, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah, because it's not. I mean, it has its specific scenarios. It has a
Yeah.
specific. It's a tool for specific situations. It's not a hybrid camera, if you will. It's not one of those mirrorless that we're using. It's not a Canon 1DX where I can take photos and videos and just run and gun
Well,
shooting. This is more of I think you need to be on set. You need to
yeah.
have a purpose. You have to have a crew with you.
Yeah.
And this, like mentioned earlier, is not for the amateur, in my opinion.
I agree. I think that the biggest Achilles heel with this camera is that it's not proven. It doesn't have a track record like a Red. It doesn't have a track record like the Blackmagic Ursa cameras. It doesn't have a track record like the Aries. So when you're starting to talk about this for a professional use case, I think those things come into mind is the flexibility. While it looks super flexible, I was watching some of the footage and it looks smooth. Like for the most part, it looked really smooth. But there was some janky things happening there. There was um, some janky things happening.
Yeah. And I think we haven't spoken about LiDAR yet. What they did with
No,
LiDAR technology and how you can, on their reveal, they did a shot where they're manually tracking someone, or they have the auto tracking, I should say, but manually focusing, and the LiDAR is pulling focus on the subject that you track. I mean, that's insane. I don't think there's a camera out there that can do that.
yeah, I agree. I mean, that those things are pretty cool. And I mean, the video wise, if you're shooting in ProRes RAW, you can convert it to any gamma that you really want, anyways. So that's an interesting piece of the puzzle. But I mean, like in a world now where most cinema cameras, like you got the Z cams that are ridiculously cheap.
Mhm.
You have the BGH1, which again, another cinema camera, Netflix approved, super cheap. Um, you have a vast array of RE cameras that are, relatively affordable. And of course, you can buy a Red for $5,600, the Komodos, which are again Netflix approved, and it's basically, add your lens, add your batteries and rig it out a bit, and you're going to be about $7,000 as well. I guess it's just whatever you need for the work that you do, I suppose.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it will be interesting to track the progress on this and see, who's the intended audience. I
yeah,
think it's definitely not the professional filmmakers because those guys have unlimited budgets. They're gonna go with the Arri Alexa camera.
yeah.
And this is not for them, but I think it'll be interesting just to track the journey.
I agree. Question in the chat from DVF1, $2 super chat that he asked, what happened with the interview with X Dynamics? Well, that is a really good question. So, um, you know, I wasn't going to really talk about this because I wasn't trying to, but this past week, I've reached my peak of aggravation with this company specifically. So I think we'll talk about this now. So I think it was like Saturday or maybe it was Friday. It was obviously directly after the video I did went live. So after that review or that first impressions went live, obviously my phone rang. Probably I would say it was probably no later than about an hour or so after the video, and it was a gentleman from X Dynamics, sort of asking me questions about the video, like what went wrong, and it shouldn't have came to any surprise because we had a private chat going with the entire team, and I was telling them everything that I was experiencing, like everything I was experiencing, I was communicating to their team. So nothing in that video should have came to a shock to anybody on the X Dynamics team. Um, about I want to say about 8 or 9 o'clock that evening, Friday evening, the CEO of X Dynamics messages me on WhatsApp and he asked if he could video chat me. And I said, sure, no problem. So go into the video chat and, he's talking to me and, we're having a conversation and he was apologizing over and over again about how he feels like he disappointed me and how, he wants to do better and blah, 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 blah. And I said, all right, yeah, I mean, these things happen. I left it as that. Saturday rolls around. We have another video chat, him and we're talking. And because at this point, I still have the drone in my possession. And he says to me, he wants to come on the show. He says the word show. I didn't say anything about drone brews. So it wasn't like I proposed to him. I didn't propose that he come on the show. I didn't propose that to him. He said it to me. And he said he was going to come on the show. And I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, we need to discuss it, blah, 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 blah. And as the conversation evolved and I started getting, all the pieces set up, then he said, well, now people from the team want to come on the show, want to come on, and how do I invite them to it? I don't know what happened in the conversation because as I was still testing things with the drone, I was starting to get more pissed off with it. And then I don't know what his position is, but he asked me never to say his name on a stream and never to say his name online. So I'm going to respect that. But there's a person, I don't know what his position is with the company, but he had to have talked to the CEO. And then they came to the conclusion that they weren't going to come on the stream. They weren't going to clarify the things that I was complaining about. And I was just sort of like, okay, so wait a second. He clearly was the one that had the idea to come on and to be a part of the stream, but now he doesn't want to. So I started seeing the same thing that happened with the first generation. So what they're trying to do is everybody goes silent and all the heat is off of them, right? Now, this could be one of two things. Either A, they're going to put their heads down and they're going to fix these problems because the camera on the drone is great. Like I think the camera is really good. Is it the best camera I've ever seen? No, it's not the best. Is it the best camera on a drone? No, the X7 from, DJI is still like the creme de la creme. I mean, that camera is still the best micro four thirds sensor out there. It just is. And they need to fix these problems. The latency was a huge deal and I couldn't fly it like safely. I talked to other people who had it in their hands and, they're saying the same things. And then here's, another thing that was happening was people were starting to get their units. Their units were arriving. And one of the biggest complaints was the fact that the units were arriving. They looked like they were used, like they weren't packaged properly. Things weren't correct. And it just, it was a shit show, man. I mean,
I think you did the right thing with that video for sure.
My problem, this is where I lost respect for them. And like, I don't care if they don't have to send me another drone. They don't have to, I don't want to, like, I don't care. I'm not one of those people that like are foaming out of the mouth because a company has sent me something. I don't care because it takes a lot of work to put a video out. It takes a lot of work to look at something. Just because somebody sends it to you for free, it takes time to sit there and evaluate something. It takes time to put together a proper assessment of a product. And he was like sort of trying to pressure me to put out a second video saying something positive. And I wasn't having it. I wasn't going to have it. And I don't care. Like, I don't care if this burns the bridge between me and them because you had two chances. The first time the Evolve came out, the Evolve 1, I felt like I took it easy because it was like, all right, they were a new company. It was something we've never really seen before. And I felt like I really took it easy on them. And I was. And I mean, and now Ken Herron, he was a little bit more aggressive. I was a lot easier at that time. But then you go to CES and you see the product and it almost looks like a finished product at this point. And then we wait an entire year or more, actually, before we get it in our hands. And then, it's still not ready. And then, in talking with them, they're like, well, we put it out. We thought we can, as it was in people's hands, we can, polish up the pieces. I'm like, wait a second. You had an entire year or more to get things working and polished. Your consumers, your customers are not your beta testers. Your consumers, your customers are not your beta testers. Why is it not done? That's not fair to the people paying $3,600. And then you want me and others to say positive things. Not going to happen. And I'm sorry, like, not for nothing. I saw the shade that Steve, Captain Drone, threw at me about being a hothead. Well,
Mhm.
I'm pissed. Imagine if we spent, $3,600 for it plus tax, and it arrived in the condition that it was and functioning like it was. You wouldn't be mad because, yeah, they may have good customer service. They may do an RMA and they may refund you your money. But it's the fact that maybe you paid for this months ago, like 18 months ago, and it's not right. It's not ready. Like the whole thing was wrong. The whole thing was wrong. I was really pissed because I was hoping that it would have been like that sort of Phantom Inspire hybrid. Like, I was wanting it to be that. I was really
Yeah.
wanting it to be that. And it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Well,
And
I hope they do the right thing and
they need to
fix.
not take any more orders. The right thing that they can do right now. And this is why I said, if I owned that company, I would fire every single one of them that were involved with that project. I would fire every single fucking one of you that were involved with that project because you all failed. You all failed. And I don't care if you think that's harsh or not. You have millions of dollars in research and development, and you all failed. You failed. Bottom line, if that was DJI and they were embarrassed with that release, you wouldn't have jobs. You
Mhm.
wouldn't have jobs.
Agreed.
You'd be fired. You'd be
Yeah,
fired.
absolutely.
I mean, they would just absolutely be fired. So, um, yeah, it's really annoying. Really, really annoying. So,
Yeah. And I mean, I think there was even opportunities from a marketing perspective. Like, where was the campaign for this drone? Like, where was the hype for it as well? I feel like
well,
I as a consumer, I didn't feel that.
all the hype and all the campaign is on Facebook. They put out countless videos from like 6 or 7 months ago. They started putting out videos and just really like posting it on Facebook. They have no Twitter. They have no Twitter. They have um they really don't have much other presence. And what I found was, and I don't know if these people get paid to say positive things about it or to be honest or what the deal is. I mean, there's one thing about being optimistic, but then there's another thing about being a realist about your product times. And that's the problem. That's the problem with like social media. That's the problem with influencers because they're so afraid to burn a bridge because they said something that was the truth. And sometimes that truth is the missile that sinks the ship.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, but I mean, like, God, I kept thinking back to myself, like, man, if I spent $3,600, I would be so upset. I would be
Yeah.
upset,
I will
you
be
know.
pissed. I will be pissed too.
And I think our mentality in the drone world now is different, right? We're so spoiled with our Mavics, right? We have these Air 2S's and the Mavic 2 Pro. They're small drones, right? They're small and you can put them in your backpack and you can take them anywhere you want, and you can capture anything from anywhere.
Hmm.
And it's like, I was thinking about it. I was going to take this drone to Hawaii. I wanted to take the Evolve to Hawaii. And then I had to start thinking to myself, how am I going to get it there? How am I going to get it there? I would have had to ship it. I would have had to ship it to Hawaii and ship it back, which would have cost a good amount of money because to take that plus Cinelifters and everything else on the plane, something no doubt would have gotten lost.
Yeah.
Something would have gotten lost. So I don't know. I know I didn't make any friends with them. I know they're pissed, but they should be mad. They should be mad. Like, they should be mad. I don't know who dropped the ball. And I even asked that. I said, who this is a funny thing. I said to him, I said, who was responsible for flying these things and reporting back to you. And he says, well, it's not going to be professional of me to answer this question. I'm not going to entertain that question. Well, it's a valid question. Who was flying this? Who said this was okay?
Yeah.
That person needs to be fired.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I hate to say it, off with their head. You know, that's I don't know. So that's where we're at. I sent it out. When did I send that out to UPS? I think I sent it today. I finally sent it back today. I boxed it up, sent it back, and that's it. And hopefully, I don't think I'll ever. I mean, I don't think I'll ever touch one of the drones again. I mean, I just don't think it will.
No.
I mean, in another what? When is November 5th? How many days do we have until the release? Because DJI is really on the ball here. We have right now. Friday will be 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we will see the Mavic 3. And then shortly after that, about a week or so or more, the Mavic 3 is going to be, shipping. And I think this conversation that we just had is irrelevant.
Right. I was going to say that it becomes irrelevant. Yeah.
It becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, Mavic 3, and DJI is good. Like when they put something out, like it's polished. Like look at prime example, Ronin 4D, such a futuristic design. Right? It's a futuristic design. They've been working on it for a while. We've been seeing leaks of this. We've been seeing images of this for a little while now, and now here it is. It's perfected. It's in the hands of some of the best cinematographers on the planet. And it's a beautiful machine. And only, you have to have marketing power. You have to have resources available to dedicate research and development. Right. So, and that just shows that's why it's hard to compete against DJI in that. And I feel bad for startups. I do feel bad for them, but I don't feel bad because if you're going to do something like execute it well. Like if you're going to step into the ring with Mike Tyson, and he's the champ, you got to knock the champ out. You can't knock the champ down. Knocking the champ down doesn't win you the fight. You got to knock him out. And nobody's been able to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks. Autel's another one. Here's Autel. Like, I just got notification that the Nano will be in my hand, probably next week. So that'll be interesting. But they're low on stock. That's the other thing. They're low on stock. They haven't started ramping up production. Here's another company. They come on, they tease you. It'll be here in a nanosecond. Prime example. It'll be here in a nanosecond. Autel, what is your definition of a nanosecond? What is your definition of a nanosecond? You can't say that shit and then not plan to release a product in a timely fashion. Do you realize the holiday season is fast approaching? If you do not have these readily available for purchase by the end of this month, early in November, you just screwed yourself out of the entire holiday season. And more so, more people are going to flock towards DJI when the release of the Mavic comes out. I guarantee you, little Timmy will be saying, you know what? We can pay our rent late this month because the Mavic 3 is just so sexy, so sharp, so crisp. Maybe my landlord will forgive me. And since they have the COVID forbearance, I can get away. I could push it to tax season. But I got to have that new Mavic 3 in my cart. You're going to miss out on that IOU money. What the freak is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
That's a great analogy.
But it's true.
Yeah.
People will put off the things they need for the things they want. And if you're in marketing, you should know that. That's like marketing 101. Like the only difference between DJI and a drug dealer, DJI is doing things, somewhat legally, and a drug dealer is not, depending on what state and municipality you're in. That's the only difference. So I don't know. I would hang on a second. We got a question. You think they will give DJI a run for their money in the sub 250 gram category? They have to put it out. It's got to be in people's hands for it to give anybody a run for the money. The problem is right now is Autel has a severe complexity when it comes to actually launching a product. And it's not just like this is like, oh, one product issue. This is not a COVID issue. This is an Autel issue. Autel had this problem with the Evo. Autel had this issue with the Evo 2. Autel had this issue with the X Stars when they first launched. They had this problem. Basically, Autel is Paul Walker in Fast and the Furious 1. They just hit their nitrous a little bit too soon, and they didn't have enough to finish the race. That's always their problem. They just don't have enough to finish the race. And it's sad. It's sad. They put themselves in that position to be a laughing stock of the consumer drone world. They do it to them goddamn selves. It pisses me off. So, you know.
Have you guys had the opportunity? I know, from a DroneWorks perspective, to get the orders in, like dealer orders for the new.
Yeah, we have our stocking. Like we know how much we're allotted. We know how much we're going to have in our hands. So we didn't take on more orders than we're going to have stock. So some people may go to DroneWorks site and try to add something to the cart, and it gives them an error. Well, that's because we've already exceeded or met a maximum amount of orders. And we've only did that because with the holiday season, I don't want to have people like ordering and expecting it and not being able to be fulfilled, because then I'm going to blame it on Autel. That's their problem. Charge me more, DJI Drone Daddy. Super Deluxe gave me some stickers. A lot of stickers, so many stickers. I've just been slapping them all around town. Every time I fly a new spot, I've been slapping stickers. So, Lift It Vista Drone Services. Will we be able to have the Mavic 3 in our hands by Christmas Day? I firmly believe you will have it before the holiday. I would say before December. Before December. I think that's a pretty safe bet. You'll have it before December. I just, DJI doesn't do that. Like they don't string you along. Like for instance, the 4D, the Ronin 4D, that's a specialized piece of equipment that's $7,100, and you're still going to get that by December.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. So it'll be interesting. Let me find my mouse. This mouse keeps disappearing on me. We have Sean from Geeksvana here. Sean's going to be talking about the action from DJI.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Oh, that's me. Hang on. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well.
Awesome. And Eddie, great to see you on here, sir.
Likewise.
I really enjoyed your first show last week. It was absolutely superb. I was one of the people in the comments saying Eddie Nunes.
Thank you.
Give the people what they want to see.
He's a good guy, that Eddie Nunes. We call him Eddie Money around these parts. So, Sean, tell me a little bit about the action. Just give me it all. Just
well, it as usual is one of those releases, which it was actually quite nice with the Ronin 4D. Actually, that we didn't know too much about it before it came out. I think that was quite a nice treat actually for once. But with the Action 2, we pretty much know everything. The retail leaks are out. So the usual international websites, retailers putting their products up there on private pages, which aren't really private pages, unfortunately, and people are finding them. So we pretty much know everything about them now. That what the packs are going to contain, the specs, that type of thing, etc. And things like the highlights are things like obviously 4K at 120 frames a second, and the fact that it's now going to be modular, so you've got almost like a session style square camera, and you're gonna have the magnetic blocks to build different things that you want. So whether you want a touch screen or an extra power block, that type of thing. So it sounds like an exciting product. I'm probably going to get one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which of the combos I might go for. But I also think we're going to see other products because it is modular. I think it's quite clever that they can, of course, DJI can bring out more modules as the months and years roll on. Frankly,
of course, Sean is going to get one.
Yeah, of course. Now, the codecs, do we know if this is shooting 10-bit color? Or did they say anything about no 10-bit?
Don't know. I'm not sure on that one.
I guess it's probably no.
Yeah, I would also guess no, because there was a couple of bits of spec that I thought okay, and you know it sounds very, very good, the headline facts, and for an action camera, if it does what it says, then a bit like the Action 1, the people that buy it probably aren't going to be disappointed, because
Right.
let's face it, the Action 1 buyers were people like myself who aren't, you know, active FPVers, or really, you know, there's not much action seen between these shoulder blades. Let's put it that way. Most of my cameras are static, like me, when I'm filming, basically. So the Action 1 was therefore quite a good camera for someone like me, and I think the Action 2 is going to be the same. That it is going to do a lot of things well. Whether or not it's going to compete with the GoPros and that type of thing is a whole other kettle of fish, basically.
So we got a action that's going to basically allow it to be modular. So from my understanding, that modularity comes in the fact of you can take the screen off and you can just use just the camera by itself,
Yes.
which for guys that fly FPV like myself, I mean, this now just became a hell of a lot more friendly. It's a lot lighter than the GoPros.
Yes,
there's a lot
it's
to really
supposed to be it's supposed to be aluminium bodied and robust. So again, you
sorry,
feel
what now?
like DJI. It's aluminium.
Aluminium.
Yes, aluminum bodied
Uh-huh.
and robust. Sorry, I just have to put my American chip in. Ugh, there we go. So again, you feel like that they're speaking towards the session, and the fact that the FPV audience like it. There's this new Horizon fix, which I'm
Okay.
slightly concerned about, from the point of view that it sounds great. Again, perhaps your vloggers will like that, but I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure. Things that ever from any of my FPV buddies, they always worry about stabilization and what that does as far as the smooth flow of an FPV flight. And I worry that might crop the picture quite drastically to have the horizontal, you know, to be able to guarantee your horizon on something, you're going to have to crop that image in, I think. So that's, you know, it is one of those releases that sounds really, really good, and I'm sure for the money as well, it's going to be a great product. But you then have to look at the other side of things, basically, and that it's perhaps not quite going to get there on a few things.
God, I love when you talk Downtown Abbey to me. It's just every time. I'm seeing pricing $450. I don't know how accurate that is, but it seems to be in the ballpark, right? We look at the Hero 10. The Hero 10 was $450 unless you got the GoPro Care Refresh, or whatever the hell the GoPro is. I know I did it. You know, I've had to use it a couple times, and it's a pain in the ass. But I mean, they always replace my GoPro. I just can't walk in and walk out with one, so I don't know how good that actually is. But
the prices that we have over here in Europe, in the euro, and what we tend to find is it doesn't actually transition, so it doesn't go from pound, convert it into dollars. We kind of pay the same per pound as per dollar. So the power combo, which is going to be the Action 2 itself with the extra power block, is going to be 439 euros, so potentially dollars. The power module individually is going to be 65 with the dual screen. So it's again, this is just the camera with the dual screen add-on, 549, and just the touchscreen module, 199. So it's you know, once you start adding those up, it does start to become quite a healthy price. But there's still some entry level figures in there which are good.
You know what would be interesting is, since this is modular, that, you know, what if for version 2 of the FPV drone, DJI incorporates this modularity into their version 2 of the FPV drone? Because, you know, they're building this fundamental that, hey, we have this modular camera, so it'd almost be silly for them if they put out a version 2 of the FPV drone not to take advantage of that option, you know. Somehow. I don't know how they would do it, but it would be amazing.
Something tells me that there is a happy coincidence that a lot of this spec might suit FPV. I don't think it's something that was actually in their mindset. The huge marketplace for DJI with things like their small consumer OM or OM 5 gimbals and that type of thing is the Asian marketplace, and I think this is going to be hugely popular in the Asian marketplace for exactly what it is, as something that you're going to wear the medallion, the metallic medallion, and you're literally going to clip it onto your shirt and do lots of vlogging that way, etc. And I think that marketplace is going to be very big. I think if it's good for FPV, I think that will be a coincidence. I don't think it's necessarily something which is designed in. No,
Okay.
not personally. Not looking at all of the specs that are in there, etc.
Yeah.
What's the battery life on just the camera itself?
I think it was 70 minutes at 1080.
Wait, 70? 70?
Yeah.
70 at 1080.
70 at 1080. Up to 160, 180 with the power module attached, and also, of course, with one advantage there is that it's hot swappable. One of the big differences between this and the previous version is a lot of things can be done whilst you're recording. So you can go into slow mo, in and out of slow mo whilst you're recording. You can change the zoom and also hot swappable power modules as well, because of course the brick itself will still have some power left in it. So that's quite cool. I think the fact that you can play with it more and not have to stop recording all the time. I think it's going to suit a lot of people.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. We have to wait till this is the 27th when that releases. So we have next Wednesday. So it seems like Wednesday is the date of releases. But interesting that they decided to go November 5th and not November 3rd for the Mavic.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting.
Sort of weird.
I think that you, again, this is only personal opinion, but I think you might see something drop on the 3rd to do with the Action 2. So I think you might see an extra pack or an extra something or other as an extra, sell point basically. But that's just personal opinion. I have no facts to back that up.
I think if this camera quality is great, I think FPV pilots is just gonna love it, just because of the weight. I don't think there's any specs out there, how much this thing weighs, but it just looks light overall, just based on the design.
Yeah, I think it's 56 grams.
Oh wow!
Okay.
For just the camera part, the touchscreen is 64 grams for just the touchscreen. 56 grams.
Okay, so that's not terrible. 56
pretty
grams.
good.
That's respectable, because I think, let's see, naked GoPro is 28 grams or so.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. I mean, 30 grams more, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's also waterproof up to 10 meters. So those of us that, or those of you, because I don't fly true FPV, who like to ditch their FPVs in the odd lake. At least it's kind of worth getting it back, because if it's only 10 meters, then it's actually going to be okay basically. And it's going to be 60 meters using the waterproof case. But again, I don't know what kind of weight or size or bulkiness that adds to it.
Hero Session 5, by the way, was 74 grams.
74 grams. Okay,
74 grams.
So just a little bit more, more. But it'll be interesting to see if it's able to actually handle the maneuvers, though, because that's where, like, I watch I watch Rocksteady with the FPV drone, and it got better, but it gets some warbly weird effects. I mean, GoPro's just really perfected it. I think the Hero 8 is the best, like, as far as for FPV, like as far as stabilization goes, it's a good sweet spot where it's not overzealous. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, indeed. I mean, it's also got the 155 degree field of view, which I think again is wide.
That's a pretty wide field of view. Yeah,
pretty good, isn't it? Because then even if you have to crop for 4K and crop for horizon steady and things, it's still going to be a pretty decent picture. But at the full 155, again, it's one of the stats that you start thinking FPV popularity.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. So that's the 27th. Mavic 3 is on the 5th, and then hopefully, I'm hoping that's it for DJI until 2022. Like,
Let's hope, shall we?
Like, I can't handle anymore. I'm on the fence with the Ronin 4D. Like, I sort of want one for real estate, because I feel like it would be super handy just in general. But that's a hard pill to swallow, especially the fact that it doesn't come with lenses, doesn't come with SSD. There's just too much there, and it's a $7,000 risk. So I think I'll skip on that one.
Yeah,
I'll skip on that one.
although I think you are the marketplace, and then upwards from you that is ideal for the Ronin
Yeah.
4D. So I can see how you would be right on the fence there, because
Yeah.
if you look at people like Potato Jet's video, etc., and you see the benefits that he sees on, and he's fairly good and impartial with
he's
his
amazing.
reviews.
Yeah.
And you know, he again was talking about the travel side of things. I know on Twitter you're always talking about, you know, you're almost at the point where you have to start shipping things ahead of you now, and he's the same. And he was saying, actually, if he had the Ronin 4D for a couple of his recent projects, he would have had such less goods to take with him, basically.
Hang on a second, Sean. Hey, Stanley, if you don't like the show, let me know. I will send you my address. I have no problem fucking you straight up for that comment, dude. If you ever come here and start making fun of handicap people, anything in general, I'll make sure that you never see your fucking name here. I'll ban every single screen name that you generate. I will ban. I'll go as far to be psychotic enough to go to YouTube and file a complaint, a grievance, so they track you down, you little prick. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I know it's the same person every single time, spends time. You know what? Guess what? I'm living rent-free in your head. I'm living rent-free every single day in your head. You know why I have so much money? Because I don't pay any rent, because I'm in your fucking head. I can't see your comments because my moderators don't ever talk about Down syndrome, anything. Fuck off.
Unreal.
Like people like that, super fast on the keyboard, not so fast in real life. There are those
100%.
people that are just little butt trolls, live in their mom's basement, don't have anything better to do. But you know what? Nobody smacks them down. What's going to happen in real life one day? Somebody's going to smack that little prick down, and he's not going to have any fingers to type on. That's how you do it in other countries. They just cut their hands off. I mean, that's what we were doing overseas anyways, cut their hand off. Unbelievable. I have no patience for that. All right. So expensive holiday season. I want to go through one stream. You know what I'm like so tempted, Eddie, to just make it members only, like for the chat. I hate to do that, but there's always one person that just says something so stupid, and they have multiple troll accounts.
Yeah.
You know, multiple troll accounts. I'm so tempted.
But that does mean you're doing something right, though, because you know, if you were vanilla and you know, you didn't have opinions and you didn't state opinions, you would never get trolls. And you know, the minute you start getting trolls on YouTube, you're doing something right, because you're actually getting an opinion that has a value and has a debate out there, frankly.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a really personal, like, I don't know. That was weird. Yeah, so close to doing members only. I you know, initially when we set up the stream, we were going to do it for, you know, X Dynamics. I thought to myself, we'll do members only just because, like, it's going to be a lot of sensitive topics being touched. And I figured, you know, the people that are serious enough to be a member of the channel would ask the intelligent questions, and it would weed out some of the other crap. You know, I tried to make sure these streams are open for everybody, but it's getting to the point, you know, it's ridiculous. You can always ban them, like in a video. You can shadow ban them, or YouTube's filtration's really good lately of just shadow banning people.
Yes,
like, boom,
absolutely. A lot of the comments that I click on quickly when they come up on the phone, I think, right, I've got to get rid of that, and it's already gone, which is fantastic these days. It's very good.
So, but I mean, you know, it's crazy. Like, to sit there and make
fuck that guy.
To make account after account, though, like what are you like?
But as you said, rent free. It is a rent free thing. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat, though, because that's the second one. I have a feeling it's the same person, but I digress. All right. Well, you know, Sean, I appreciate you coming on. I know you just got off of another stream. So
indeed,
Sean is a busy guy. He doesn't sleep.
Busy guy, man. Just always in the know, man. Always in the know. And you know what? I appreciate what you do, and, you know, staying sort of bleeding edge with everything. And I know everybody else here appreciates that. And I'd be excited to watch your review, man.
Thank you. Well, and you know, just very quickly, and I know Eddie will back me up with this. You are one of the creators. You know, they have the trolls out there, but you are one of the creators that we all look up to from the point of view that, you know, when I had 1,000 subs, when I had 500 subs, people like you, Ken, Kelly, you know, you still had me on the show. You still came on my show, that type of thing. There's such a community, and that's one of the things I love about the drone niche is that the larger channels reach out and help everybody basically, and you know,
everybody puts their pants on the same way.
I thank you for that. Yeah, exactly.
I agree with Sean there. You know, I think, Ken, you are definitely the one bold, you know, YouTuber in this community, and I think we need that. You keep us honest with everything, and
totally.
Yeah, you know, no fluff. So
yeah,
we try.
The X Dynamics video, I mean, I haven't seen the rest of the stream because as you say, I was on another stream, but the X Dynamics video, I knew I wanted to watch it because I knew that it would be 100% correct, and everything, even down to how they packed the thing, was mentioned. So
it was a mess, man. You know, and you know what's
awesome.
bad though? I did hold back a little bit in that video. I started out impartial. I did hold back. There was other things I could have really threw at that, but I didn't. Yeah. I think we said it. I think we said enough in that one. But Kevin Wells, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you. But Sean, you're always welcome back, and we will have you and Ian again for coffee. We're doing the
that was fun.
Again once a month we do it because I didn't realize we have so many people overseas. They don't get the chance to interact live, so we do it once a month. We call it what do we call it? We call it coffee overseas, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure out a creative name for it, but
we will. Exactly.
I'll see you later, my man.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Sean. Sean is a great guy.
Yeah, great guy, dude. I love talking to him.
So knowledgeable.
No, he is, and he's a nice guy. A couple of new members here. We got Lobo 76. Welcome to the Brew Crew. We have Matthew Bagwell. Welcome to the Brew Crew. And then Burlap and Light. Welcome to the Brew Crew. Eddie, we are going to be doing updates. We're updating things as we speak. So this is our last week using StreamYards to stream for Drone Brews. We are going to Restream.io. Restream actually is going to give us a lot more flexibility because one of the things we want to start doing is members only live streams. And the members only live streams are going to allow us to have up to 20 plus people on a stream. It's going to get chaotic, but those will be members only streams. And one of the things we talked about, we're going to be bringing back Friday night flights officially. I'm excited. So you can email your flight videos. So if you want your videos to be featured on the next version of Friday night flights, we're going to have an email that will be in the members only post stream. You can email your flight videos there, and it'll be featured on Drone Brews. So actually, it's not Drone Brews, but it's Friday Night Flights. But it'll be public. It's going to be public. But in order to, again, weed out the crazy shit, we're doing it members only.
So Lifted Vista has a question I've seen coming up a lot on your chat and videos. What do I do to become a member?
So it's a little weird. If you have an iPhone, you may not be able to see it. If you're on Android or you're on if you're on a computer, a web browser, and if you go to youtube.com and you go to the stream or you go to the channel, there's an option to where it'll say join. It's weird. Apple doesn't allow you to join, but if you have an Android phone or if you go to YouTube's website from a computer, you'll see there's a join button. You click join. It's like $1.99 a month, but that's where you can see all the behind the scenes stuff. You can see all the hidden posts. Like there's hidden things that we post on the channel. It's hidden to members. I do $1.99 because I figure even the shittiest of trolls won't spend $1.99, right? So a shitty troll won't spend $1.99. So that's why I do that. So
yeah. And don't forget about the Discord as well.
So somebody's also asking about the mount. Let me go get the minimal mount because that was something else I wanted to talk about on the stream.
Okay. Now I hope that when this Action 2 camera comes out, that Ken also makes a mount for the DJI FPV for that, because I know that when I get the Action 2 camera, the first thing I want to do is put OriginaldoBo's mount for the Action 2 on my DJI FPV. You got to do that one.
You got to do it. So this is the mount. This is something we made for the Triple Tack tablet. So this is the Triple Tack 8 Pro. And this is what I call the minimal mount. Now, what it does is it uses the 4 mounting points that are on back of the Triple Tack controller. And what we did was we made it to where it's you can have it any orientation you want, but there's these ridges in here, these little clip lips. And if you have the new Mavic controllers, basically what will happen is, this is how slick this is. This will clip into here. So like basically these clip right into there, and that clips into there. So
That's neat. Wow.
You know?
Wow. Look at that.
So, and I mean, people are asking me, well, is it balanced? Well, I'm a pincher. So if I'm pinching and I have my hands like this is how my hands are resting on the backside. So if I have my hands like this, it's perfectly balanced. Like I don't need a lanyard because it's balanced and it's comfortable too, because I have somewhere for my ring finger to go on the backside. So like for me, this feels comfortable. But the whole reason, the premise behind this design was I got tired of having to have this massive tablet mount that I would have to set up every single time. So I was like, well, how could we make this work for the Triple Tack where there's no way there's no setup time. You don't need anything additional. You saw it like took 2 seconds. It's on. And when I'm done flying,
look at that.
I'm done. And then it goes in the bag and it's done. So super easy. So I don't know. I just found it super easy. And it's like every mount that I looked at is like $40, $20, and they're heavy. They're heavy. So these are cheap. These are like $16 is what we're charging for.
Simplistic design too, which I love.
Simplicity is key when it comes to being able to get up in the air pretty quick. So has anyone able to successfully transition from thumbs to pinch? Yeah, right here. When I first started flying, I was a thumber and I've transitioned to pinching. So it's just constantly doing it, like constantly just making sure that you're constantly pinching. That's the easiest way to do it. And there's a hybrid way. Like you can hybrid pinch. Like you can use your index finger and your thumb. Like your thumb can sit on top. That's like a good halfway point, and keep your index finger forward. I call it's a hybrid pinch, but that works fine too.
And
so
I find
that if you're trying to
get so much more like smoother, shots pinching versus
Yeah, so I know Caroline Ariel said a neck strap helps with balance. Yeah, we didn't do a neck strap because I don't like when I fly DJI drones or GPS drones, I don't use a neck strap. And I designed it, like I more or less designed it for myself to be able to get up in the air super quick, get my shot and get back. Like I hate clunkiness. Like I'm pretty minimal when it comes to flying. I don't like to over accessorize like my GPS stuff. Like I just like to be able to get up in the air quick.
Your troll is back. Whoever this person
who is it?
Really hard on for you. Mexican lip gloss.
Man, he's really trying.
Yeah.
Really trying. So let's get this straight. So let's give him what he wants. Give him what he wants. I'll tell you what. This is how froggy I feel. Eddie. This guy clearly has a hard on.
Yeah.
Has a hard on. I'll tell you what. You're so much of a big man that you can sit there and keep creating accounts. I will paste the link to this stream so you can join and you can say whatever you're going to say. I'm not going to let you type it out. I'm not going to let you hide behind avatars. If you have something to say to me, you have a problem with me, you have a problem with Eddie, I'm certain it's just me and, Eddie's just getting the backwash of it all. Say it to me. Say it to my face. Let me see your face.
Yeah,
let me see your face. I would love to see your face. So I'll paste it here. If you are that person that's commenting, come on in the stream. I want to see your face. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy and say it behind a keyboard. If you got something to say it to me. Don't be a pussy. Everybody's a big man behind the keyboard. So say it to me. Come on. Let everybody here see your face. So every time they see you, they know exactly who you are. Come on. You want to say derogatory things to people. You want to make fun of people. You want to tout out racial things. Say it to my face so I can see the pussy behind the keyboard. Come on. I'm waiting for you. I know you're still in the chat. You're not going away that easy. Come on.
Probably creating the third account now.
Yeah, creating another one to try to jump back in. Come on, come on. You got something to say it. We're not going to play this game. See, stuff like this is going to make me go members only on chats, man. I'm telling you, it sucks. I hate to do it, but I'm not going to deal with pricks like that. But that's what they'll do. They'll create account after account. He's got the option. He's got the option to jump right in. The link's right there. All he has to do is hit it with his phone. But he won't do it. He won't do it. Because he's afraid. He's afraid that people will know who he is. Just like every troll. That's why they make account after account. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, I guess we ended that. Huh. Good. Eddie, this was a sufficiently good show, man.
Yeah, it was.
I think there's a lot of good information. We'll have timestamps of everything if people are interested in if you made it this far, thank you. There will be timestamps so you can get to the information that you need as quick as possible. I will watch back all 1 hour of this stream so that way if somebody wants something later, I could do that. And then maybe, I don't know, I don't like breaking the streams out, like taking information and like making a separate video. I just like timestamping things. People can hop, skip, and jump all around. I think that's fine. So alrighty, Eddie, anything else?
Until next week.
Until next week. We will see you later. Thanks for watching. I don't know where that was going. That was going somewhere that sounded familiar, but I didn't like where it was going. All right, stay original.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh.
Hey, Ed.
Yo,
Yes, we're still live.
we are?
Yeah.
You doing this shit with me too, man?
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do could stop me cold in my tracks, yeah. Why don't you get up off of these high hypotheses? I'm not Socrates, I'm not trying to be cool. Yeah, yeah. I think it's
It was a good show, dude.
Yeah, you got me there for sure. I'm here looking at the chat and thinking you disconnected. I was gonna turn off my camera.
You know, sometimes, man,
Shit.
no, yeah.
Yeah, you got me. I didn't think
You were like a deer in headlights, Eddie. You were like a deer in headlights, man.
I'm reading the chat and I'm like, oh, Dobo disconnected. We're not gonna have, that after hour conversation.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens though, man. Sometimes that happens, dude. You finish that beer? You nurse that beer the entire night?
Yeah, I'm this is it. I mean, I think one or two of these and that's it. I'm done. I think I'm getting old because if I drink two of these the next day, I feel like I have a hangover. Good thing I didn't get up because I'm not wearing pants.
Thank God you didn't, dude, because we are, we're still fucking live. Jesus Christ. God almighty. Why? No. Oh, we got to work on this outro with you. Jesus, Eddie. Jesus.